Hey everybody, welcome back. We are the FitHealth Pros. I'm Dr. Kevin.
I'm Coach Sean.
And today we're going to talk about nutrition. So this is our Nutrition 101 series. We started a couple videos back. We've got into sugars, pros and cons with sugar.
Yep.
And this video today is about artificial sweeteners. Now, there's a lot of strong opinions out there, right?
Sure.
So there's been experiments. There's been lots of data, for and against,
Right.
and there's abundance of artificial sweeteners out there. Today what we're going to do is we're going to give information about both sides. I think just to kind of preface it, this we're not going to really have an opinion here, even though
Try not to.
we both deal with this on a regular basis with helping
Right.
people with their health and with their wellness, diet, nutrition. But let's go ahead and get started. Give a little background, Sean.
All right, so background on artificial sweeteners, which are known as non-nutritive sweeteners.
Non-nutritive, word of
That's,
the day.
that's Dr. Fox's word of the day. He will use it at least 25 times a day, starting now. So these artificial sweeteners are oftentimes found in a variety of foods and drinks, soft drinks, candy, powdered drinks, supplements, jams and jellies and dairy products and even baked goods. Because even baked goods like to have less calories as a selling point. They're broken down into intense sweeteners, novel sweeteners such as stevia or tagatose, kind of plant-derived, the stevia, sugar alcohols, which are carbs from specific fruits or vegetables. They can have lower calories and sugars again, so it makes it more attractive for the diet types and the companies making fad diets, etc. And they're absorbed less by the body as well, so there's less storing in the body. So it kind of goes in, goes out. See ya.
Right.
There are 5 artificial sweeteners that are approved by the FDA. First one I want to talk about has been demonized for years. It is saccharin. It was actually banned in the 1970s because they were doing a lot of experiments on rats, and it formed cancer in rats. And we're talking tumors the size of the rat itself.
Oh yeah, I remember those pictures.
Yeah. So because of that, it was banned, and everybody's like, saccharin's horrible, take it off the shelves. Everybody kind of knew it as sweet and low back then, and is today actually. I suppose it's still around because it did come back in the early 1980s. It had been redeemed in the eyes of science from some of these experiments because what it did to the rats, it didn't necessarily do to humans. Okay. So the next one I'm going to talk about is acesulfame K. Now this is oftentimes found over in the United Kingdom, sometimes found over here as well.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's kind of used to cut the bitterness of saccharin and some other sweeteners, artificial sweeteners, because those are chemical compounds put together to create these sweeteners, and sometimes there can be a bitter aftertaste. So sometimes they'll use the acesulfame K, sometimes neotame, which I'm going to get into in a little bit as well, to cut that bitterness. Now with acesulfame K, and possibly why it's not as popular over in the United States, is that there is evidence of risks in terms of the thyroid, in terms of brain function, kind of brain fog type of situations, and cancer in large doses. So what we will see in some people that go the artificial sweetener route for the 0 calories or the less calories is that they will drink these beverages all day long,
Right.
and feel justified by it. Well, there is danger in putting extra artificial sweeteners into your bodies, so just letting you know. Next one is going to be aspartame, also known as NutraSweet or Equal, so the little blue packets. It's based from naturally occurring amino acids. So they take these naturally occurring amino acids and rejigger things a little bit, and boom, you've got aspartame. Now, the danger here in smaller doses even, when it gets broken down, it does get broken down into methanol, which of course is one step away from formaldehyde, which is a poison. So, experiments have shown that we do not ingest enough to have enough methanol breakdown
Right.
to be dangerous for us. But if you are slamming drinks left and right, again, it can be dangerous. So take that as under consideration if you are going to be having some of these artificial sweeteners. They can be good in small doses for what they do, just they can be dangerous later on.
Yeah. I think FDA, you go back to that recommended daily allowance, the FDA is making some big assumptions on what people
Are
should
actually
be doing.
ingesting.
Yeah, whether
Right.
it's one 12-ounce diet soda, and I mean, I've
Or
heard
6
people
to 12 a
having
day.
2 liters for breakfast, a 2 liter at
Ah.
lunch, and a 2 liter at, like, in the afternoon.
But it's no calories, so
But yeah,
Right.
so that's, and I'm trying not to be too anecdotal, but obviously we're not scientific, but, if we just think about this from a common sense standpoint, what the FDA says is safe, they're looking at maybe one soda a day,
right,
and sometimes that's not the reality.
right. Next sweetener
Mm-hmm.
that is approved by the FDA, again with the recommended daily allowance, is neotame. Now neotame is 8 times sweeter than sucrose, so you don't really need that much of this. So even as it gets broken down and whatever it gets broken down into, you're not going to be ingesting that much more than likely, or utilizing that much to sweeten a drink or sweeten a cake or whatever is going on with this. Now, neotame, there are no off flavors, so there's no bitterness, so they do use that again to kind of cut with other sweeteners. Relatively new in the United States. FDA first approved it in 2002, so another way to make some money for the industry right there. Last but not least of the big five, is sucralose. So you've seen this as Splenda,
Yep.
the yellow packet. Safe in small amounts for most, but also not good in high heat. So
Right.
maybe sun tea with sucralose.
Sun tea in
Splenda sun
in the
tea.
Arizona desert, we put that out there 110 to get our sun tea brewed.
Yeah.
We might not want to put that sweetener in there.
Yeah, maybe not the best choice. So
Right.
maybe do your sun tea, put it in the fridge, and then later on add it. Might be a
I'm
little
not making
safer.
any recommendations.
We're doing our best, folks.
Yes.
But you know what's interesting is we've got the chiropractor health guy over here
Right.
is going to give us some pros about artificial sweeteners. So
Yeah.
this will be interesting.
All
Let's
right.
see if I buy
So
these.
over the years, people have asked me about this and that. Is this good? Is that bad?
Right.
And I don't know if I've ever had a pro for artificial sweeteners. So
So
thanks,
something
Sean,
interesting.
yeah, so Sean looked some things up. And so what my job today is to read to you,
Yes.
not give you my opinion, but read to you the things that Sean found as pros that maybe the artificial sweetener, I'm not sure.
Well, it could be what the artificial sweetener lobby is pushing as pros,
It could be a pro from them. It could be,
or for those that are in love with their diet sodas and 0-calorie sodas, and
Correct.
and this justifies
right. So here's
why
some
they
of the,
do what they do.
So here's some of the pros. And I know that this isn't the most exciting topic in the world, and we don't want to badger this too deeply. We're going to try to make it entertaining. Keep in mind, we're putting the board up in the notes, so when you look at the description in the video, we'll have the board so you can quickly read through. If anything catches your eye, say, ha, there is a pro to my artificial sweetener, because the FitHealth pros have it on their board.
That's right.
Now, we didn't say that it's a pro,
That we recommend
that we
it.
recommended that, but this is pros that we found. So,
Yes.
lessens the amount of table sugar, which is sucrose, and then that turns into fructose and glucose, that's used in different products. So, that could be a pro.
It could be.
Could be.
It takes less to make it sweet.
Yes. Another one can be a natural sweetener, possibly derived from fruit juices, nectars, honey, molasses, or maple syrup, maybe.
Yeah, it can. That's what they start with, and then they get into the lab and create something even sweeter.
Right, so, and that's, yeah, they kind of backward reverse engineer things.
Sure.
Yeah.
Has some natural things to it, possibly.
It could be derived from a natural occurring substance. So it could be derived from a natural sugar. It could be derived from an herb or a plant,
Sure.
a fruit or a vegetable. Here's another pro, can enhance or extend the flavor. Example like chewing gum.
Yeah. So, you know, those old school sticks of gum that we used to have,
Oh,
or the stuff that you get at Halloween.
Right. 1, 2 chews and no
And
flavor.
Yeah, I'm done.
So it could. I don't know.
Gum nowadays
Is gum
can
still,
last a long time.
Do the kids still chew gum?
I don't know. I
don't
have
know.
braces now, so
Yeah.
definitely not a kid.
Here's another one. Can be less expensive than sugar and have a longer shelf life. So
Yes.
what were you saying there? 10 years?
So yeah, it can
10
be
plus?
7 to 10 years
Okay.
possibly. Natural sugar, once you open it up, well, it can last up to 2 years.
Okay.
So I mean, if you are off somewhere in the wilds and you have one thing of sugar or one thing of artificial sweetener,
Because that's the first thing I'm taking on a trip.
It's true.
Is a pound of sugar.
gonna sugar your elk after you go for the hunt.
There you go.
See,
All right.
always thinking.
Well, and then, on the shelf,
Yes.
the artificial stuff is
Takes up less space.
It's smaller.
Right.
All right. Okay.
Oh.
Maybe I'm coming
Not
around.
buying it.
Maybe I'm coming around.
He's almost got it. He almost has me. but-
It's many times sweeter. Everybody knows this. You can just little dab and it, that'll zing you, right? It can get you. But many times sweeter, 200 to 600 times sweeter than regular sugar. So you need less sugar that way, obviously. It adds virtually no calories to your food or drink, and the table sugar adds 16 calories per teaspoon.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, we looked at that. We said how much sugar, how many cans, how many teaspoons in a can.
Yeah, and then that in a regular soda.
Right. Soda's probably not the best thing to compare everything to.
Because probably shouldn't be doing soda.
Right. Yeah.
Period.
What else? It can be utilized for weight loss. I think that a lot of people would argue the calorie deficit
Right.
theory
Right.
and say, well, if you could just have that with 0 calories, now my lunch, instead of being 1,500 calories for lunch, is now
Goes down
900 calories.
quite a bit.
Okay, I'm just reading off the board here.
And I may or may not address this in the cons coming up.
Correct.
Maybe.
I think you will. So it's not fermented by dental plaque. So that dental part of the thing, that's a
That's
plus.
a big plus.
So positive for dental
So
care.
toothpaste and mouthwash and things like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
There you
I
go.
could maybe even in the chewing gum,
Yes.
because of the tooth
Right.
decay.
Right.
Okay.
Less tooth decay for the chewing gum. even.
Um,
So we do have a good pro.
We may have a winner on one pro.
Yes.
It doesn't rise the blood sugar level, so that's a big one for somebody that is watching their levels for blood sugar. It's more stable over time. It's supposed to flatten that out. I don't think. Well, man, it's hard not to give an opinion.
It
really is.
Try not to.
Yeah.
We'll see by the time we get to cons
Right.
if opinions start,
Take that for what you want.
start filtering.
Watch our other videos, and you may have a sense of where
where we stand.
where our foundation is.
Right. Right. We're trying to be fair.
Yeah. Now, there is, as a pro, it's said somewhere that there are no sound scientific evidence that causes cancer or other health issues if you use artificial sweeteners in limited quantities.
Yes.
Okay. And it also is regulated by the FDA. So
Which is a plus.
that's a plus. So that's the pros, at least the ones that we felt that were pertinent. Now let's go into the.
So let me get into cons.
Yeah.
So this is where
Yeah.
we're going to have some fun.
Yeah.
So, okay. So the first thing.
Shout out if you know the first con. Yelling at your
We're
computer
playing
screen.
con bingo
Yes,
because there are quite a few. So the first one, but no opinion. But the first one, people who tend to go the 0-calorie soda route and go for the lower calorie sweets and things like that, they oftentimes may replace the lost calories through other sources. So studies have actually shown that there is greater weight gain over time when eating these foods with artificial sweeteners. So that's a big thing. It's a really big thing because it's almost like a justification for having a piece of cake or a justification for having a candy bar, sneaking in calories here and there, not moderating how much food you're going to be eating, ingesting, because you're over here with the soda zero or whatever it might be. So one of the big things here is that because there's a sweet taste going into the body, there is an insulin response that happens. The brain, goes to the endocrine system, goes, hey, pancreas, go ahead and we got some sugar coming. So go ahead and give us some insulin. Now, when insulin is thrust into the system, it's telling the body to store blood sugars in tissues. Now, when there is no blood sugar coming in, it's just the sweet taste that is triggering it, there's no blood sugar increase with artificial sweeteners. So that could possibly create hypoglycemic conditions, could possibly increase food take and hunger based upon that as well. So it can be dangerous when you're breaking it down into those terms. May also overstimulate your sweet receptors, those sugar receptors, which makes other foods, such as fruits and vegetables, less palatable. It's like, you know what, I need something super, super, super sweet, not just an apple, not just a carrot, that has sugars in it. So then less of the good foods are eaten, more of the processed foods enter. Another danger. So it may also cause more cravings for sweets.
Yes.
So you're utilizing the super sweet artificial sweetener, and then you get this craving and you don't have a 0-calorie bar there. You don't have a 0-calorie cake there, but you have the other stuff. They brought in donuts today at work. So what are you going to do? You're going to nail it. You're going to go for that donut.
Yeah, the brain kicks in. It doesn't care.
When those cravings come in, you're going to grab what is closest, regardless. Sweet is sweet according to the brain. So another con. This next one, now there have been a lot of experiments done. Been a lot of experiments that show some pros, a lot of experiments that show some cons. And one thing that I definitely I can't overemphasize is know who is funding these experiments. Because oftentimes the artificial sweetener industry, the lobby per se, is putting a lot of money into these experiments because they want more positive things to be able to say about their artificial sweeteners.
Right.
So now one of these that I'm sure probably wasn't funded by that lobby talked about the addictiveness of artificial sweeteners.
Yeah.
Now through these tests, now this is just one single experiment that was done, but it's been wallpapered over by those that don't have positive things to say about artificial sweeteners, is that artificial sweeteners are as addictive as cocaine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we've seen those pictures.
Yes.
The CAT scans or the MRI or CAT scan,
Right.
where it's got the brain, the
The
highlighted
pleasure
areas.
centers of the brain.
Right.
And
Crazy.
the same areas of the brain were lit up by artificial sweeteners as were lit up by cocaine as well. So Something to think about. Again, we're just giving information, but the cons are pretty heavy duty. Now, studies can utilize far smaller amounts of the sweetener than is generally taken in daily as well, as the recommended daily allowance by the FDA
Hey, we touched on
is
that.
not necessarily adhered to as well. So the experiments can be all sunshine, rainbows, and flowers. And guess what? You're going to be taking in a lot more than what was in that experiment that said, hey, everything's great.
Oh, it's so easy to justify an extra 2 sodas when there's 0 calories.
Yes, yes, especially if that last experiment that I read said there's no possible cause for maladies within the body,
Yeah.
or disease within the body. So, again, something to think about. Going back to sugar alcohols, now those were the carbs from some specific fruits and vegetables that are kind of broken down into a low-cal sugar. They can have a laxative effect in larger quantities. So be careful.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Sorbitol? Is that one of those sugar alcohols? I believe?
Yeah, the sugar alcohols, and
there are a bunch.
a lot of times it's
quite a
in
bunch.
these healthy protein kind of shakes.
Yes, a lot of supplements will
lot of
have them.
supplements.
Energy powders, and type of powder drinks, things like that will
Right.
oftentimes have sugar alcohols. So be careful not to overdo those, and you wouldn't even think about it.
Yeah.
That's something. It's like, well, I'm going to have one of those in the morning. I need another boost in the afternoon, and I may be drinking some sugar alcohol laced. I don't want to say a brand name,
Right.
but
It's okay.
energy drink or
Sure.
whatever.
I have another con that I just thought of
Oh,
to add to the cons. And it goes back to the pros, right?
Okay.
It's the expense.
yes.
If you are doing these energy little packets and an energy drink, and they have they want to be low cal,
Right.
because it may be used for diet, maybe used just for energy, but boy, that can add up. I think if
It
you're
ends
looking
up being expensive. It's the sweetener itself could be less expensive, but the amount of
right,
products that you end up buying could end up being pretty pricey.
yeah,
You're right. You're right.
especially compared to the natural sources.
Yes. Yes. So, and you're not going to be having the dietary fiber that you may have with natural sources as well, which fills you up. So you're going to be eating more because you're never full. You always have that little hunger going on. So when we're talking about experiments, when we're talking about these studies, and talking about the different lobbies, both for and against, that may or may not be funding these experiments, studies range really wide. They're so wide. They range so widely that they go from safe under all conditions to unsafe at any dose.
Right.
And these could be the same sweeteners we're talking about, experimented on by different parties.
Right. So if you had that coin flip question in your mind, and that came about with anything, you're going to drown or you're going to live, absolutely.
Right.
Would you take the risk?
Would you take that risk? So that's a con. That's a pretty heavy duty con. And then last but not least, it may disrupt the balance of bacteria in the gut as well,
Absolutely.
which a lot of your health comes from the gut.
Right.
Your dietary enzymes,
A lot.
etc.
Yeah. It comes back to that foundation for sure. And so if you do have issues with pain, inflammation, eczema, allergies, hormone deficiencies,
All kinds of
Man,
stomach
maybe-
issues that they can't even
Yeah.
define.
maybe looking at things that affect your gut. That would be
IBS.
that would be the focus there. And so this could be
A tipping point.
one of those things, the artificial sweeteners. Yeah, awesome. Well, again, we're not going to say the cons have it. We're not going to be pro sweetener of any sort, really.
Right.
Watch our other videos.
You'll kind of see where we stand
and
on.
you see where we stand.
Yeah.
But if there's any other pros or any other cons that you'd like to throw in, and then also let us know if you won the pro and con bingo. If you were correct and had all the ones that we talked about.
Which one did you get?
Which one did you get? Let us know. Comment on this. Again, this video is more informative, hopefully a little fun, give you some anecdotal evidence, some things that we found to be true as well.
Yes. And things to get you to think.
Yeah.
You know, generally with our videos, we tend to get you thinking about stuff.
Right.
You know, that may pertain specifically to you or someone you care about. And if we can help, we want to.
Right.
100%.
Yeah. And if you have questions about that, also give us any ideas of the next type of video that you may like in our Nutrition 101 series.
Yeah, what are you wondering about?
Yeah.
What questions do you want answered?
Artificial sweeteners, gave you the background, gave you the pros, gave you some cons. That was it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I am Dr. Kevin.
I'm Coach Sean.
We're the Fit Health Pros, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
There's a record button on there. If you could just go ahead and hit that, that'd be fantastic. Thank you.